Hey, join our Discord, you noodle brain. So we're reading an excerpt today from Anxiety, How It Is Created and How It Is Healed, transcribed homilies of Archimandrite Simeon from Thessaloniki, Greece. This section in the back is what St. Porphyrio says about confronting anxiety. It is worth noting that this and other treasures from Thessaloniki and beyond can be found at deathtotheworld.com. That's right, deathtotheworld.com. And a huge thanks again to Steve A. for giving us the hookup. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program here on the internet today. I am your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs, Raphael, and I'm so very, very happy that you could be with us here today as we take another little dip into some light reading, let's say. Before we get into the show, the shilling must go on. If you're looking to support the show in any way possible, first and foremost, your prayers are greatly appreciated, as I'm just falling apart here, guys. Laughing makes me cough. Outside of your prayers, we have Patreon, PayPal, Cashapp, smoke signals. Hey, you want to talk about this stuff? We got a Discord. Check that link out below. Anyway, let's get into this excerpt from Anxiety, How It Is Created. This is what St. Porphyrios of the Holy Mountain, yes, that St. Porphyrios, has to say about confronting anxiety. And the first section is entitled, I Go to Christ. What should govern us in love for Christ? It should be in our mind, thought, imagination, heart, and desire. The effort you make to encounter Christ should be extremely intense. To encounter him, to unite yourselves to him, to embrace him within yourselves. Let go of all your weaknesses, so that the evil one does not take notice, lunge at you, grab you, and cause you to worry. Here, Father Porphyrios emphasizes, let go of all your weaknesses. This means that we should not focus on the negative. I have this weakness, this passion, that defect. When we do this, it is as though we think we can uproot these things from ourselves, but we are actually just consumed by them. It is important for us to understand that in whatever demanding situation you are, you must immediately run to Christ and say, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. Leaving behind all negativities, whatever they are, and as persistent as they may be. There is nothing that can hinder you from going to Christ, from turning to him with a positive disposition and saying, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. It may seem like this is difficult at certain moments when, for example, you are seething with anger, with evil, with hatred, with some things, but you can do this. As I said at some other time, it is exactly this negativity, the evil that exists with us, which becomes the cause not to abandon Christ, but to turn to him and call upon him. Let go of all your weaknesses so that the evil one does not take notice, lunge at you, grab you, and cause you to worry. Through this, we see that Father Porphyrios, St. Porphyrios, seems to believe that the devil is behind every negativity, every sin, and every evil that comes. If, however, you disregard this fact and act as though it is not true, as if it does not exist, you also disregard the devil himself. And when you try to rid yourself of evil and do not turn towards Christ, the devil embraces you. To make sure you fully understand this, let me tell you something more. I remember way back, probably more than 50 years ago, I was dealing with certain issues and had read some things related to these issues, and I read that there was a young woman and a young man. Well, there was definitely more about the young woman, who intended to have an inappropriate encounter. It would have been better if they had said to themselves, where am I going? Where am I going? Instead of going where I am going, I should turn to Christ. As big as the temptation was to go where they should not, that much more they should have turned to Christ. However, they did not think this way, and what happened? Each went to the place they should have gone. They met with the person they should not have met with. Now they faced a critical moment in which they had to struggle to not surrender to temptation. Amazingly, though, pay attention here, although they supposedly struggled and resisted, the temptation clung even more closely, they became attached to it, And all of the things that happened. What a person. Using this example, stop and think how each of us loves our passions, our weaknesses, even more deeply than this. Now you can understand that you do not get angry because the devil made you angry, though he is involved. You get angry because you feel some kind of pleasure getting angry and becoming spiteful and whatever else. This is why sometimes, at the moment when someone tries to rid themselves of a passion, supposedly detaching themselves from it, in a way it clings even more closely. This is not absolute, but there is truth here. When, however, someone approaches things in the other way, by letting go, they find themselves in a completely different situation. They let go of the passion, the temptation, making it their motive to run to Christ. This is how St. Porphyrios' words can be explained. Do not even try to rid yourselves of these things. Struggle with gentleness and simplicity without pressure and anxiety. It is possible that someone could think this is strange, but in reality, what he says here is true. In the moment of your passion, weakness, or sin, you have to have the inner courage to say, instead of giving in to my passion, weakness, and sin, I choose to go to Christ. As strong as this passion, weakness, and sin is, I am going to Christ. And as much as you go to Christ, the temptation weakens. But even in this, we must be careful because people are, what can we say, even in good situations, a person can fall prey to their ego and be lured into the fullness it desires. Speaking from my own experience, coming from a background of darkness and various subcultures and weaknesses and passions, I could identify completely with everything here. I would imagine a lot of people can. I mean, how often do we get into a fit of rage and just, we know we're wrong, but we just let it happen anyway because it kind of feels good, throwing the finger, cursing someone out, being angry at someone for some sort of perceived injustice. Heck, I did it just this morning. I'm probably doing it right now. The point being, the general anxiety and fears and dispositions that we have over any given day, and I'm not talking about an anxiety disorder here, I'm just talking about our normal day-to-day struggles with these passions can easily be overcome if we just put in the effort. That's all there is to it. You should go buy this book. Anxiety, all right? How it's created, how it's healed. Go to deathtotheworld.com, hit their shop. We've got a link below for it. Highly recommend it. Thanks again to Steve A. And I love reading these little excerpts to y'all. I think it's great, and I think it's a great way to get me to keep myself accountable in thinking, and it's a great way to share my love for my love of Christ with you all. So, with that out of the way, we're at the end. Go have yourselves an awesome day, all right? On behalf of Spooky Cat, her mom, and myself, thank you so much for your continued prayers. And don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. God bless. Laughing makes me cough. Laughing makes me cough. Laughing makes me cough.